Good morning. It's Wednesday and it's nice, beautiful day today. It's starting not too cold, not too hot. Chickens in the background. I'm starting in my chicken pantry today. I just want to kind of give you a quick update. I know it hasn't been that long since I've made the video of my chicken pantry idea, but I added a few things. There's more raspberry plants. I did that yesterday, and I just wanted to give you an update on how everything is going right now. Right now, the new transplants that I made yesterday aren't doing so well. I'll just show you. This is a new growth. It's slumped. I'm hoping, I'm keeping it nice and watered. As you can tell, it's nice and wet. Gave it a drink this morning, but it's looking kind of sad. But I don't know if you guys remember, but that's what this one looked like when I first transplanted it. So I'm hoping it livens up, This is another new transplant right there, and that's not looking too healthy either. So yeah, it's got a lot of fruit on it. The old stem is very lively. It's nothing is drooping or saggy looking. It's just the new growth that is sad looking. So if the new growth dies, I'm hoping the plant will be strong enough to maybe shoot up new shoots for next year. I don't know, but I still got hopes for it. Like I said, I only made this transplant yesterday, so I'm hoping once the roots start kicking in, it will liven back up. This is another transplant I made yesterday. Same issue. The new growth is droopy, but the old growth is doing just fine. This is another one right here. Another transplant, and this one's doing very well. Very well. It's not droopy at all, and it's growing just fine. And this one too. This one was very droopy yesterday, but once I watered it in the evening, it perked back up, and I think it'll be just fine. I decided to add some more. I might still add even more. I thought, why stop at 4 raspberry plants when there's so much growing right now? So I just figured, just plant it now instead of having to wait on the plants to generate the growth. Might as well just transplant them right now and then just have it, so when it's next year, it will be more. So. All my mulberry trees are doing just fine. This one looks very healthy. I put mulch around all of them from the chicken coop. I did that I think Saturday. I don't know if it's helping, but the grass sure is loving it around it. This mulberry tree is looking sad, but it's alive. It's doing its thing, but it hasn't changed the way it looks. So that means it's not dying. It's still living. So, and this grass is really loving the mulch. Just shooting up. My purple clovers they're blooming, so that's nice. I'm gonna try and get some more of these and plant them in here, so there's a huge patch of it. So I need to talk about this. This is something I'm probably changing my mind about. I thought I'd put it in here so maybe when the chickens are in here, they could have their fill of mint. But the more I think about it, it's just a terrible idea. If the chickens can't come in here and manage it constantly, it's gonna get out of control. So I'm probably gonna end up pulling it out and planting it in a pot, because that's what you should do with mint. You should never plant them in the ground unless you want mint everywhere. If you want mint everywhere, then plant it in the ground, but I don't want mint everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pull that one out. Last mulberry tree. This one is looking okay. It's leaves turned a little bit yellow. I don't know if the camera will be able to pick that up. One leaf died, but it's you know, I think it's gonna pull through, and I think it should be fine. Nectarine tree is shooting up. I nip the very top of it. I'm gonna do it again. It just wants to growing straight up. With the nectarine tree, I want to do the open center design growth, not a what's that, center leader growth. It's when you let the branches branch out and the center is open, and you train the branches to kind of, I guess, grow outward a little bit. I don't want a tall tree here. I want to keep it maybe a little bit taller than me, maybe at like 7-8 feet at the most. I don't want to have to stand on a ladder to pick fruit. I just want to be able to just come in here and just, pick it as I wish once it starts fruiting, which I may not be here for it, but that's my idea. If I am here, that's my idea. Open center growing style. And so you nip the top when you desire height, and that's about the desired height you want, and the stalk will get wider, and it will shoot out branches, and you train the branches to kind of have an open center area. Yeah, I don't know how many more times I'm gonna say open center, but things are growing real nicely in here. A lot of plantains growing, which is fantastic for chickens. Gives them a lot of protein and calcium in plantains for chickens. I got clovers in here growing, and what looks like arugula. I can't be certain, but I think that's arugula right there, isn't it? I think that bag of seeds that I got from Tractor Supply, I think it probably has arugula seeds in it, and that's where it's all growing, which is fine with me. Like I said, this is a food forest for them. This is gonna be their chicken pantry, so whatever grows. And the next thing I planted in here is a super long shot, and it's most likely it's not something I'm gonna ever benefit from, but unless I'm still here in 5-6 years. But I planted another apple tree. It grew from seed in my worm bin, so I pulled it out and planted it in here, and it's surviving. Same thing with that one. That's another apple tree right there. It hasn't died yet, so I'm hoping it grows. Maybe a couple feet this year, and I'll have some apple trees in here. It'll be the same style as the nectarine tree. Actually, all the trees that I'm growing in here will be low stems. The mulberries I'm gonna keep real low, like 2 feet, and grow the branches outward. So when it fruits, the fruits hang and the chickens could pick at it, but not like destroy the tree. I'm gonna have to build cages for all of this pretty soon, and I'll make a video about making cages for all this. Same thing with my strawberry patch. I'm gonna just call this my wild strawberry patch. They're doing well. They haven't started with any runners yet, but I think they're still working on establishing the grounds here. So pretty sure they'll be just fine though. Probably gonna have to weed around them to give them the the benefit of having the grounds, so they don't get choked out by all these other plants. What I want to show you is, remember my grape trellis video, and I put that clip on the very edge of that grapevine to mark where it's been. Look how much it's grown since Sunday. I made that video on Sunday, aired it on Monday, and it's already grown that much. That's almost 6 inches, I think. 5-6 inches right there. Isn't that amazing? In 3 days it's grown that much. It's growing quick. And sorry, I've got to keep far away like this. If I get any closer, it just gets blurry and it just looks terrible on video. So yeah, unless I put my hands back here and focus it. So yeah, all the new shoots are coming up also, which is fantastic. This one's finally starting to actually grow. A bunch of new shoots are coming out of this one. So these are tendrils, yeah. Belinda, I think it was Belinda that told me that these were tendrils, and they're the ones that just reach out and grab onto things, so it gives the vine structure. So this one's a tendril, but I thought it was great because, like I said, I don't know if you guys could see it, but there's like little bumps. I never seen that before, so that's why I thought it was great. I thought I was developing the cluster, but I guess we haven't reached this part where it's developing clusters yet. So I don't know exactly how that's gonna go, how that goes. But this one's doing also very well. It's growing a lot slower than that one, obviously. Probably different breed of plant, different breed of grape, so a lot slower growing, but it's growing. And that one is really still growing very well. And that one I'll train next year, most likely. My blackberries are doing well. I mean, they're not producing any. I don't think they're going to produce any fruit this year, but they're establishing themselves. So I'll probably see fruit on next year's growth right there. The big stalk growing right there. Probably get fruit out of that next year. I don't think I'm gonna get anything out of the last year's growth. Oh, I also planted sunflower seeds along the fence back here, but we won't know until a couple weeks when they start popping out. I'll let you guys know then. So let's go to my garden and see how that's going. Oh, so real quick, that's all my compost that I made in the chicken coop. Me putting all those leaves, turning my chicken run into a giant leaf compost, and it made all that. I know on camera it looks small, but it was a lot of wheelbarrows. It took me like 2 hours to kind of scrape it out of the back there. I don't know, it's covered in old grass now, but I completely dug it out. I don't know if you can see it on the fence line. You see that the black mark, that's how deep it was, and I just kind of scraped all the compost out of there and piled it up here because I need it for my potatoes, because my potatoes are just blowing up. On Sunday, after my trellis video, I made the trellis video, I had come in here and buried my old potato that was growing over there that I transplanted here, and I had buried it. I'll go to that clip right now. Boop. I know it's silly to just do one, but you gotta keep up with it, I guess. But They're really popping up, as you can tell. It's really starting to come up. Those are all potatoes. But yeah, look how much it's grown. Isn't that amazing how much it's grown in all the side shoots? And look at, that's my tiny little potato. It's growing. And that's the other tiny potato. And that's growing. Yeah, but they're starting to shoot up everywhere, my potatoes. So it's time for me to start adding more soil and burying my potatoes so it produces more. Yeah, they're just shooting out everywhere. So are some of the weeds. Obviously it's just in areas that aren't covered by the leaves. It's shooting up weeds. I have actually managed to run out of leaves on my property. I'm walking. I need to go into my neighbor's wooded area right here and start getting more leaves out. Pretty much gathered all my leaves. I've got piles of pine needles, and I'm a little hesitant about using pine needles. I mean, it is fine to use if you're growing a certain vegetable that likes high acidic soil. Pine needles apparently does that. It makes soil acidic. Same thing with that big tree right there. That's an oak tree leaf. I'm oak tree, and I've already collected all the leaves out of that, so it's already, I got oak tree leaves in here. And also oak tree leaves makes your soil acidic. So if you have acidic loving plants that you're growing, use oak tree leaves and pine needles. That's what I use. I use my pine needles with my blueberries, and my blueberries are doing fine. But I'm a little hesitant about putting it in the garden because I don't want too high of an acidic soil. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta do a little more research about it and see if it's all right. All right, so you just saw my potatoes. They're doing well. Maybe this Saturday I'm gonna give it just a little bit more time for the smaller ones to catch up just a little bit more, to pop out of the ground just a little bit more. And then I'm gonna add the soil, the first bury, and you bury the stem, up to just that little notch, the little bit of green showing, so it still keeps on growing, sees the sun. Let's see, the plants that I've planted are doing well. Their leaves are turning just a little bit yellow. Looks like I need to add some magnesium to the ground. I think that's what it is. But overall, it's doing well. They are growing. The new leaves aren't yellow, so that's fine. So that's good. Yeah, but some of the stuff has died off a little bit. So yeah, this might have been almost my casualty. Something came in here and nibbled it. Probably slugs came in here and nibbled it up after I planted it. But everything's doing well. What is that? That's just a weed. So yeah, I still haven't got any more plants, which this row right here is completely bare. Nothing's growing in it except maybe that weed that I just planted. This row right back here, the new one, the last one I made, I had planted beans in here, bush beans, green beans and yellow beans out of Cherokee wax or something like that. I planted here, so I need to get this covered with leaves so the weeds don't take off, because they're about to come, because they're knocking. They're starting to peek out everywhere, so I need to get this covered up fast. That's about the only plant I still need to plant. It's my basil. I got 2 things of basil. I'll probably plant that right here. Tomatoes are also, the leaves are also turning yellow, so I definitely need some magnesium in here. All my tomato leaves are a little bit yellowish, which I'm not a fan of. Looks like a slug got to this one. All the leaves are bitten off. That's my jalapeno. But nothing has died. Everything I planted has survived. This is the weakest tomato I have. But it'll pull through. It's created a new shoot right there. So I've got hopes for it. But like I said, I'll give it a shot of magnesium, Epsom salt, and these shoots pull through. But they're doing fine. This is all new growth right here, so they're growing. What the heck is that? What on earth? Is that a woodpecker? Well, he's making wood chips for me. I don't know. My cucumbers are looking just a little sad, but they are growing. It has new growth in it right there. I need to come in here actually and work the soil and definitely get this covered up. Looks like my kids have come in here and stepped in here. Yeah, so I mean, they look kind of pathetic and sad, but you know, it's gardening. I'm not perfect. I'm not an expert at gardening. All right, but next I want to show you is my onions. They're doing fantastic. Tons of onions growing. So yeah, all my onions are, what the heck? Oh, I thought that's one of those murder hornets or whatever you call them, but it's just a yellow jacket. He's fine. Yeah, but my onions are doing super well. I came in here the other night and kind of loosened all the soil and worked more leaves into the ground, so there's more biomass and stays nice and fluffy. Oh look, another one of those plants. What is that? Oh, you know what that could be? I had marigold in here last year, planted around my yard. That could be a seedling from that. I'm gonna let that grow for a little bit and see if that's what it is. Oh, I got another one right there. I think that's what that is. I think that could be marigold. And if that's marigold, that's good. You let it grow. But my onions are doing fantastic, growing well. All right, my next update is my strawberries. I covered it with bird netting. I just need to come in here and kind of cut it off. But look at all my strawberries. As you can tell, there's red strawberries everywhere. I also put the netting up so my kids would stop eating them. I'll give you an example of what happens to strawberries that if it touches the ground for too long. See that? How that strawberry looks? It's because it was touching the ground for too long. So let me stuff some. Just raise it up a little bit and get it on top of something. Keep it off from touching the dirt. What I like about the strawberries is they're coming in waves, not like they didn't all fruit at the same time and then poof, you get one giant harvest. There's some plants that are still producing new strawberries right now, so it just comes in waves, and that's why I like that. It's not like one-time harvest and you eat and you preserve. It's just you just keep picking as it grows. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Well, that's my garden update. I think that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna start on my building of my trellises probably this afternoon after I get off of work. And this time next week, it's gonna be my last day of work. Kids are gonna be out of school, so, and then when that happens, it's full-on work mode. Trying to do as many videos as possible this summer before the kids go back to school, and I might have to go look for another job. My name's Sang. This is Growing Little Country Homestead. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.